Hey everybody, welcome back to our 360 Roundtable Filmmaker discussion. We're here with Rose Mendonca and Ryan Rubi, and also we're here with students from Art Institute and Sacramento City College.
Deja Kennedy.
Zach Wagner.
Gabriella Morris.
David Simmons.
And Christy.
Justin Clare.
And let's talk about your film, your project that you just did.
So I am now finished with breaking news and looking for distribution at the moment. And this was it was a fun project. It was actually my first short film that I did. And I think what makes it a little bit more unique than the traditional route is that I wanted to make sure that everybody got paid on this project. And so everybody aside from extras did indeed get paid. And this was just a lot of fun to just do everything the right way, to work with your friends, to basically build something from the ground up and actually make it come to fruition. And it's been quite a learning lesson, but it's been a lot of fun.
Where'd you get the money to pay people?
Well, we did a lot of pre-production campaigns. So the first one that we did was an Indiegogo campaign, and we raised around $3,000, a little bit more than that. I didn't total anything outside the Indiegogo campaign, but we fell actually far short of our budget after that. So what I did was that I actually ponied up a lot of the production costs at that point.
What lessons have you done crowdsourcing before, or was that your
No,
first time?
that was my first time, and
Okay.
so what I did is I started watching a lot of YouTube videos and stuff that you do. So I mean, I think anybody going forward, the biggest thing you can do is hit up your friends and family, and I mean, like, seriously, spend a Saturday morning and call at least 50 numbers, 60 numbers more. Call everybody, because you don't know who's going to donate, who's not going to donate. And that's the biggest key, was hitting up my friends and family, because that was 85 to 90% of the donations.
How much did you raise?
Altogether?
With the crowdsourcing, with the Indiegogo?
With that Indiegogo campaign, it was $3,000. And then with the second Kickstarter campaign we did during post-production, it was another $3,000.
So, okay, so $3,000 to $3,000, that's not bad. Mm-hmm. So, why did you choose Kickstarter instead of Indiegogo the second time around, and was it a good idea?
I mean, it was just more playing the field and seeing what would happen. I mean, I was kind of frustrated with Indiegogo because we'd hit like a third of our fundraising goal and wasn't able to kind of get to where we needed to be. So I thought with Kickstarter, it might be a little bit better. But essentially, when you're doing a film, what makes crowdsourcing work is if you have, in my opinion, I don't have any data to back this up, but if you have, something that's like a fan favorite, or if you have a name in your project, then you'll be able to generate the financing that way. If you have no names in your project, then it's going to be a different sort of go for you, and you might want to try and do other traditional realms. And make sure that you keep that extra 5%. Don't give that to Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
So how long were you in pre-production?
We were in pre-production. I mean, technically, if you count when I originally pitched the idea in October 2015, about a year. But really started getting focused on it in April of 2016. And then we started production late September of that year.
What was the idea of the film?
So the idea was a farce about local TV news. This was a script that I actually wrote back in 2011, and it was very cathartic. So for those of you who don't know, I spent 9 years as a producer in TV news, altogether 10 if you include my year as an editor. And basically, it just was taking sort of my personal frustrations with the industry. Basically, if you are a producer, it's a lot of hard work. It's not easy. Imagine the stress of a film multiplied by 10 or 20, and then just being berated by constant phone calls, constant adaptations that you need to do. Nothing is the same when you do a newscast.
And that's your job.
And that is your job. And you have to just maintain extremely calm under pressure. And then the biggest challenge I think for a lot of people is how do you handle live newscasts? Because anything can happen. You got to be able to just improvise and go.
And you got a lot of your ideas from?
Real life situations, to be quite honest. So, and what was funny was just actually, since I wrote this in 2011, it was funny to see how much news had changed and actually came true by the time that we actually produced this film 2 years ago. I make a joke in the film about a 3 o'clock newscast, which was unheard of at the time. And then KABC started that, I think, 2 years ago. So it was funny to see how things actually happen and come to fruition.
So how did the process of production go with casting and?
So what I would recommend is that in the future, make sure if you're actually trying to make money on a film, make sure that you go through the proper channels, that you're looking at casting agents and stuff to help you do your film. We didn't do that for Breaking News, and I decided to do people who I have worked with in the past, who I knew could do the part.
Because you're an actor. And
Yes.
You know that they're good people.
Exactly. So I met most of these actors through Charlie Holliday's class. Our lead actor, Josh Fessler, who plays Paul in the film, was somebody that I did meet on set for the first time. And then along with the guy who ended up playing the photographer, Rob, his name is Howard, and also ended up meeting him on set. But everybody else through Charlie Holiday.
Were you able to do a lot of rehearsals?
Unfortunately, no. We did a read-through. Just the scheduling just didn't work out logistically. I had wanted to, though.
Okay. Would you recommend doing a rehearsal?
I would. I think that any time that you get with actors more time with the script, you're able to discover more. And I think it just makes everybody more comfortable. And I've heard it from two different backgrounds. I'm a theater guy myself. That was a major that I had, was one of my majors in college. So I appreciate the rehearsal time. I've heard of other directors who don't appreciate that. They just want the improv on the screen. For me, I appreciate the rehearsal time, and it also gives a lot more credit and a lot more faith in the screenwriter's project too.
And how long was production?
We actually knocked this out in 8 days. Believe it or not.
Continuous or broken
8
up?
days continuous.
Whoa, 8 days continuous. That's a long 8 days.
Yeah. So, and I am including one pickup day in that.
Did you shoot mostly in story order?
No, we didn't.
Bombal?
Well, we broke it up by set location. So our first day we shot at the lead actor's house, and then the second day, I forget. Oh, we shot at one of our other actors' houses, and then we booked over to the Art Institute to do the studio scenes. We knocked those out, and then, the rest of the film was pretty much at a location that we booked right in front of the courthouse.
And then Rose, did you have a part in the production?
I came on shortly before production because
Okay.
Ryan and I had just met. We were talking in the break room one day, and he started talking about film. I said, "Oh, you're interested in film?" And he said, "I'm making a film." And I said, "Oh, really? Do you have a script? Can I read it?" And I just basically jumped into the project immediately.
In what capacity?
Just helping with crew, some of the crew for production, and then mainly just after the film was made, just deciding, where's this gonna go? How can I help with that? And I was interested in coming on board because I wanted to learn more about the distribution process through experience. So it was very cool to be able to take it all the way to the film market and see what that was about. So.
Yeah. Rose was very, very helpful in getting really good key crew people on board. So through her, we found Cody for gaffing. And then, oh my God, you recommended a lot of great PAs too. Josh Gascon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Blue was
Blue.
your set dress
Exactly.
person.
So,
Josh Gaston, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're in Oblivion comics.
Gascon's gone.
Yes.
I have a question. Was the plan always to bring it to the film market? Is that...
I mean, the plan was to get some sort of distribution, and I'll be candid, I didn't research that enough ahead of time. I think the key thing that I have learned since going to film market, you need to treat your film like a business if you are planning to make money off of it. And so from the ground up, and that's one of the key things also to getting financing. You have to be able to show potential investors, how are you going to make money off of this in the long run? And if you're going to go the festival route, making sure that you fit under a time limit is key. But if you are going to go for something else, like let's say an online distribution, then it depends on what you're trying to produce.
Okay. So, how did you get into festivals? Did you go that route?
We did do a traditional festival route. Unfortunately, it was not as successful as I had hoped. And so we are going to shift our focus in March or April, depending on how the remaining festivals we submitted to get handled. So
Shift the focus in what way?
online distribution.
Okay.
So I do believe that there is a market for breaking news because every single journalist that I show this to loves the idea. They love the trailer. And then it's just, apparently audiences don't like it or the film festival doesn't like it. But I think there's an audience online for sure.
Do you have any ideas how you're going to do the online distribution? Or?
I do. I just want to make sure, like, how much do I want to say on camera?
You're still exploring your options.
No, I mean, I have a pretty good idea of the way that I want to do it, and it's going to be pretty similar to what we did before a unfinished premiere that we did last May. So I was able to get onto Capital Public Radio, and so the way that I sold that was that here's a current news producer who's writing a farce about news, and so you have to find angles like that. So if you're going to pitch to a news media outlet, you know, your film is not the story. I'm sorry, it's not. You know, you have to find something juicy, you know, and basically sell your soul a little bit in order to kind of get up on the air. But, you know, but it was a great interview, and we had a great promotion and got a few ticket sales out of that.